I'm Jim Schultz. Welcome to Options Uncapped. Welcome to the Wednesday AM edition of what it is that we are trying to do. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Welcome to the Wednesday broadcast of whatever it is we're trying to do, man. We've tried to figure it out for 10 years on FTTP. I have a very low level of confidence that we are going to get there today. But you're here and I'm here, and man, it is an exciting day to be alive. And so, your number one objective here today, if you are watching this show anywhere other than right here, man, that's not the right move. You need to be watching the show right here and pop into the YouTube chat. Get down there with your questions and your comments and your stories and your jokes, because I want to know, and the algo is dying, absolutely dying to know. Ryan, bring us into the market, man. Let's take a look at a little pre-market here. Let me grab my yeah, we got the cornflower blue loaded up here. EME S&P is down 11. Risk-free instrument, also known as the NASDAQ futures, extremely high-risk product if you're brand new to trading or brand new to the show. This is an extraordinarily high-risk product. You got the boomers down 19. Excuse me. You got the Russell 3,000 right around 3,000 down 9. You got bonds down a little bit. You got notes down a little bit. You got oil down a little bit. Got UB40 down a little bit. Got the Shifties out there getting smacked around just a wee little bit, down 36. You got the Hunt Brothers. I don't know, man. Wednesday is a pretty slow day for the Hunt Brothers. Yeah, down 64 cents. That makes a little bit of sense to me. I mean, the cheese and pepperoni, that's going to be a Friday play. That's not going to be a Wednesday play, right? The Wednesday play is Bonefish. Like, we know that. The Monday play is Bonefish. We know that. The Thursday play is Bonefish. We know that. The Friday play is going to be Hunt Brothers Pizza at your local gas station. So silver down a little bit. You got the British pound down. Got euro down. Got volatility futures right around unched. And then you've got the spot volatility. The old VIX up 27 cents. And so up to 1572. Man, that is some brutal stuff. And so somehow, some way, I'm still a bit shocked. I'm not quite sure if this is like Lost Season 2 or is this like Lost Season 5. Like, are we flash forwarding and flash backwarding, or are we flash sideways zing? I'm not exactly sure, but somehow, some way, we have survived the most critical US GDP print of our lifetimes. And you made it, and I made it, and we now get to trade in the aftermath here together. So I didn't do very much last night. If you guys want to kind of work through what I did last night, I didn't do anything last night. I did one trade this morning on the US GDP print. So the print came out. I looked at it. I said, that's all made up. I'm going to go ahead and buy that. So we got long, long at 77, and it's just sitting there. It's not really doing very much. And so, you know, every once in a while, we kind of dip our hands into the cookie jar that is going for the EQTs around economic data drops and economic prints too, because we know that they're fictitious. We know that they're purely imaginary, but they do cause the market to move. And so we kind of want to be around when that happens. And so right now we're in one long MNQ, which is just not really that big of a deal. And then, you know, we've got our Apple position, we've got our GLD position, we've got our IBM position. You know, we'll wait and see when the market opens. Yeah, what's going on with Meta? I see you guys in the chat. Man, I appreciate you guys in the chat, man. Look at the Miller Code is here. Man, look at Boulette's here. Look at Chris Anderson here. Man, Badger Dono is here. Sam L is here. Karth Life is here. Man, I appreciate you guys so very much. Aunt Duh is here. Man, give my best to Uncle Duh, please. I hope you guys are doing well out there. What happened with Meta? I see it's ripping this morning. Like, what's going on with Meta? Is there anything like spectacular that we need to know about? Is this another go at the old you know, the metaverse glasses? Are people excited about that again? You got Meta up about $25 in the pre-market, and so I need to know. Like, I need to know what's the story, what's the narrative, what are the prognosticators prognosticating about that are trying to convince us that this is the reason the stock moved. This is the reason the stock moved. We know it's all made up. We know none of it's real. We know it's all adding the story after the direction. It's never story before the direction. It might be story before the direction, but then what do? You change your story, right? Like, if you have the boldness, if you have the gumption to put your story out there in the wilderness before the direction of move, what do you do if you get it wrong? Which is going to happen 50% of the time. You go back, you rewire the tapes, and you alter the story. This is basic financial prognostication theory. This is basic financial prognostication in practice. But I still want to know, like, what was the story? I would really, really like to know. They settled in a social media court case. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, Jason Land. I appreciate you guys. Man, they settled in a court case. Interesting. Okay, all right. I didn't know that Meta was in court. I mean, Zucks, he looks like a sneaky dude, and so that sort of makes some sense that he would wind up in court for one reason or another. And so they settled the case. Everybody's excited. People want to buy some Meta, so we'll probably sell it. We'll probably look to fade that move on the open. But you guys got to tune in to see what is what. And so, all right. So as far as the rest of what is going on, there's just not too much going on right now. I mean, again, we're short this put in MES. It's the same. We're getting close to 21 days to go, but we're probably going to let this guy kind of simmer on the back burner. We've got our MNQ EQT right here, which was from this morning. There may be some more EQTs coming your way here on the market open. We'll just have to wait and see. I don't typically like to force feed the EQTs. I don't typically like to try to, square a circle with these guys. I just kind of like let the market come to me in a lot of ways. And if it looks good, I take it. If it doesn't look good, I just let it pass. And that's another thing about the equilibrium trades. You don't need very many to really make a difference. Like, I mean, if you've been following since we started, let me think. Oh, this is the 1 week anniversary. Wow. Oh, you made it 1 week. Man, I'll tell you what. Last Wednesday when we streamed live for the first time, I checked Polymarket before the show. It was only a 37 delta that we would make it through the first week. And so we are already against the odds. We are already bucking the trend, and we are already fading conventional wisdom by still being up and running. The lights are on. People are still working. I'm still working. Ryan's here. Grace is here. This is amazing after 1 week. So thank you guys so very much, because we couldn't do it without you guys. So thank you guys. But when it comes to the equilibrium trades, we've only done We've done maybe half a dozen, I guess, maybe 6, 7, 8. I'm not sure how many it's been, but there's not really, you don't need too many of these guys around the edges. And again, I'm getting lots of questions about these, and the best way to keep up with these is I'm trying to drop breadcrumbs on the trail, of course, but just watching the show on a regular basis will help you, A, kind of, clue into what I'm doing with the EQTs, and also B, it'll help your boy get that watch time. Right, and so we got to keep in mind we're serving, kind of two different purposes here, and so that is a very beneficial thing. But when it comes to the EQTs, it's very much like if I bring up my, let's go, I don't know, we'll go Diet Strawberry. Yeah, we'll do Diet Strawberry just because we can. So there you go. So again, if I think about my portfolio as options and futures, right, I'm going to do things in the option. I'm going to have options positions on. I'm going to have futures positions on, right? I already have my options positions on. I've got the one EQT on with MNQ. And as we build out the portfolio and we move forward through the forest, and we'll have multiple EQTs on at the same time, and you'll kind of see how these things kind of interplay with one another, how they're interconnected, how I think about them from a portfolio level, and all those kinds of things. But, generally speaking, when you bring futures into the mix, I just really like the way it complements a short premium portfolio. We've already talked about this. I just talked about this recently yesterday. So if you are brand new to the show, hey, welcome aboard. A lot of what I'm going to do is going to be repetitive, because I do believe, having come from academia, that repetition is the key to mastery. But I'm going to try not to repeat myself like one day after another, after another, after another. So if you go back and watch yesterday's streams, I talked about the different buckets, and I talked about how these things kind of play against each other for a good bit of time. I can't remember if it was in the morning. It would be in the afternoon for you guys, the afternoon stream. So it's just one yesterday. So that's not too bad. But when it comes to, if you're bringing futures into the mix and you kind of want to explore the complementary nature of futures against your options, remember, options, in my humble opinion, this is my humble opinion. Again, I cannot tell you what to do. I would never even begin to tell you what to do, because I don't know anything about your individualized, unique situation. You need to consult a professional, a financial professional, a tax professional, a professional in any industry. I am not that person, right? And so whatever I say, you should listen to none of it. This is purely educational and maybe even a little bit of entertainment along the way. But hypothetically, theoretically, should one find themselves in a world where they're considering options and futures together, remember, in my humble opinion, options are the driver. Options are the engine. They're the thing that's going to get you where you're trying to go. They're actually the driver behind the equilibrium trade. Now, you might be wondering, Jim, how is that even possible? Because there really aren't any options with the equilibrium trades. And that's true when they work. When they don't work, which we actually saw one, I think on Wednesday of last week during the afternoon stream, I had one that didn't work, or maybe it was during the morning stream, I can't remember. But we had one that didn't work, and what I did was I laid premium out against it to slow it down and to bring that time into the mix. to bring that volatility into the mix. And so the premium is still the engine. It's just not on the field yet. It's standing on the sidelines. It's the 12th man. It's the 6th man. Like, it is the number one reliever. It's the Aroldis Chapman, right? It's the Garrett Whitlock. It's that dude that we just got from San Francisco, whatever his name is, Miller. It's that guy too. It's any of these guys, right? And so when we think about short premium and the role that it plays, it's just incredibly, incredibly powerful stuff. But in terms of how it shakes out and how you divvy it up, I mean, there's so many different ways to slice it. And you guys are going to see me slicing it and dicing it a bunch of different ways moving out into the future. But I did kind of want to mention just quickly, kind of how I begin to think about these things. And again, like for those of you that are intrigued or interested in the EQT, I mean, following the regular streams on a regular basis is going to be the best way to do that. And I'm building out formal resources behind these things, and those things will be available later in the fall. If you want to learn more about that, then you can sign up for the Trading Lab down in the description. But okay, so the market is about to open. Let me see here. Oh yeah, and you guys have not chosen the song yet. I still have not seen the song. There have been some great guesses. So as we're about to open the market, and we'll kind of see what's going on, and I actually see some questions already coming in. This is awesome. You guys still have not chosen the song, and I've given you guys so many hints. I've given you guys too many hints at this point. I'm actually going to fill out the paperwork today to see if I can get the licensing rights for it to use it for the show. I don't know. I have to bid on it, apparently, and I don't know how much Warner Brothers is going to charge me, so there's another hint, I guess. Right? I don't know how much they're going to charge you, boy, but I got I'm starting with an $18 bid. I'm like, listen, I'll give you $18. I want indefinite rights into perpetuity. What do you think they counter with? My initial bid is going to be $18, maybe $18.50. What do you think they counter with? And then we have to negotiate from there. So I'm probably going to fill out the paperwork today to see if we can start locking that thing down, because this is going to take some time even after getting the paperwork there. But we know it doesn't have anything to do with money. We know it was released before 2016. We know that it's a band, not a single person. And then it's not that popular. Like, it's a little bit popular, but it's not like, it's not like My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. Which, by the way, it's been statistically proven. They've done research on this. That was, at its peak, the most played out song of all time. Can you think of a more played out song than My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion? You can't. It is number one. The only other one that might be in the running was that jam by Casey and JoJo. Do you guys remember? Was it All My Life? I think it was All My Life. Do you guys remember that jam by Casey and JoJo? That's the only one. That's the only other one that at its peak, right? I'm not talking about today, obviously. That doesn't make any sense. But at its peak, My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion was number one when it comes to played out. You could not escape it. Like, it would be on in the car. It would be on in the gym. You'd go to the grocery store. It would be on. You'd go to the dentist. It would be on. Like, you just could not escape it. It's My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. 100%. And so, all right. So let me know in the chat, because I'd love to know where you guys are at. And obviously, I mean, the algo, the algo can't do what it needs to do today without knowing your thoughts. So put your thoughts in the chat. And also, don't forget, today is a double feature day. We will be on live in the afternoon, too. Okay. So let's see. Oh, people choosing happy birthday doesn't count. I see you, Mike. I see you. And yes, R.I.P. Dolly Parton. That's very, very sad, of course. But happy birthday doesn't count. I can't choose Take Me Out to the Ball Game, right? Like, that's a whole different category. I want real songs. Like, if you turn on, your favorite radio station, you're not going to hear Happy Birthday today. You might hear my new intro song for the show, but you won't hear Happy Birthday. And so, all right, it's too funny, man. You guys are funny. All right, let's see. We got some questions coming in, which is good. I'm gonna try to trade this open and not necessarily get completely rinsed. But I see some great questions coming in. This is amazing. Let's see here. Griffin Jones asking about trading meta. We might do a little meta here on the open. I want to see how the dust settles. I want to see if we get this EQT cleaned up on MNQ. That would be nice. If I don't get it cleaned up, I'll probably lay out a call against it pretty quickly, because I know that my outlier risk to the downside is much greater than outlier risk to the upside, at least in my view, and also in the view of like negative skew and all the statistical phenomenon that we all know about, that we've talked about for many, many years on the Tasty Network, but that I will continue to talk about. And oh, by the way, if you haven't seen it yet, yesterday I put up a starting futures video on YouTube. Please watch it multiple times so that your boy can get that click-through rate. And so, all right, so 9:30, boom, there's your opening bell. And wow, look at that pop on the NASDAQ on the open. Nice. Very nice. Okay, so let's see if we clean up that EQT. That'd be pretty sweet. And maybe we'll flip them over. We'll flip them over on the short side, possibly. And then if I look at, Apple, Apple's not really doing very much. Look at GLD. GLD's down. That's very good. So GLD is centering itself into the strangle, which is nice. That's what we want. Again, it's a lot of doing nothing. It's a lot of sitting tight. IBM down a little bit, but so there's your EQT from the morning. Nice. We got our 218s. That's pretty good. And so right now, I'm not super interested in getting long again. I wouldn't mind getting some kind of pop and maybe getting short. I wouldn't mind that at all. Getting short via the NASDAQ, getting short, EMA S&Ps will be fine. If gold rallies up, we may do a little bit with some MGC here today. MGC is not, I love trading the metals, but I really wanted to, because I've come out of I've been sitting in the cave for 5 years, like doing this. Nobody knew about it. I was just doing it all by myself, right? I'm down in the foxhole. I'm working these things out. And I'm like, all right, coming out, it's all out there. It's all out there. Like, it's all exposed, all of it. And I'm like, well, if it's all going to be exposed, let's try to be at least a wee little bit strategic about this. Like, let's not necessarily just slang them left and right. Like, we're going to slang them to the left, and then we're going to slang them to the right the next day. But let's not just slang them left and right like all day long. And so thinking about that, I'm like, okay, the financial futures are going to make a lot more sense because MNQ and MES, you can more easily sell premium against them with the options that are already out there for those guys. For MGC, it's a little bit stickier because now you've got to go to something like a GLD to potentially sell some premium against that. Which, if that's new to you and you're like, what does he mean by that? Just hang tight. We'll get to all that stuff in the coming days and the coming weeks. But okay. I see you guys in the house. Wow, nice little rally on the NASDAQ. Yeah, okay, we'll get in there. And definitely interested in doing something short. So I'm going to let it reach and come tag me in. So one of the things I really like to do when it comes to my EQTs is I like to let it reach and bring me in. So if there's a price level that I'm looking at, there's a price level that I like, I usually like to let the market reach up to bring me in on a short or reach down to bring me in on a long. Because again, my profit targets are very modest when it comes to the NASDAQ specifically, and every product, but specific, since we're doing the NASDAQ right now, if it reaches and kind of snaps back 7, 8, 10 points, which is a pretty common occurrence in my opinion, then that gives me a nice little nudge in the direction that I'm trying to go. And so when it comes to, like, if I'm looking at the market and I'm looking at the tape and I'm like, all right, I really kind of like this level, I typically want the market to reach to some degree to bring me into that trade as opposed to just getting in at that exact level. Now, if I like that level, then I'll get in at that level. But generally speaking, I am going to let the market kind of reach and bring me in. And so, all right, so we'll wait and see if we get hit on that NASDAQ. Gold's about the same. EMA S&P is about the same. Everything's about the same. And yeah, there's not really too much to do. What is Meta doing though? Is it still strong on the open? Oh wow, it's faded quite a bit. Okay, so there was a good opportunity there to sell that guy right on the open. Let me grab the let's grab my 1 minute chart. Yeah, there was a nice opportunity there on the open to get short right on the bell. You could have gotten short at 593. It's already off 10, 11 points, which would have been nice. If I'm going to do something short in Meta, I'd probably be looking at maybe a short call spread, maybe a $10 wide short call spread or something like that. Again, the greater emphasis on what I'm trying to accomplish is undefined risk because I do feel like the opportunities are just so much more plentiful. And I do feel like, I usually feel at my best when there's just at least a little bit of dampness in the underoos. When they're too dry for too long, it doesn't feel right. Like, I do feel like I'm trying to square a circle. So obviously sticking with undefined risk is going to accomplish that objective. But still, Meta, going to Meta, doing a strangle in Meta, you're going to need a couple $100,000 to do that the right way, in my opinion. Like, if I go into Meta right now, like here, I'll even show you guys. If I go into Meta and I went to October, let's say, and if I were to sell like a 15 delta strangle in here, sell like a 510 put, and then I sell, wow, this actually isn't even that bad. Really? Hold on. Are we going to do something naked in Meta? That's not even that crazy. Hang on, guys. Hold everything. This is not even that crazy. So, let's see here. If I do a strangle in Meta, the buying power effect is like $1,500. And so, or not $1,500, $5,800. And so that is not bad. That is not bad at all. Now, it's still a little bit too big. Like, I would really like to bring this under 10%, and it is an individual stock. And again, I'm not necessarily looking to get rinsed. Oh, look at the NASDAQ, it's sold off. So we had the right idea, but we missed our opportunity, which is going to happen. That's going to happen often when I'm reaching and, I'm letting the market kind of bring me into those trades, and that's fine. Like, there's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But man, that's really not too bad when it comes to the buying power effect of Meta in a naked position. I really thought it would be a lot more than that. Okay, so how much capital do you need to do an undefined risk trade in Meta? Well, in my humble opinion, again, I can't tell you what to do. You have to decide what you should do. I mean, if you've got $100,000 in your account, that's plenty of capital to do something undefined risk in Meta, because now you're right around 5-6% of the account. And that's really not too bad. Like, that's really not too bad at all from a position sizing standpoint. And so I'm pretty surprised. I would still probably do something like a short call spread. But yeah, look at Meta, man. It's sold right off on the open. Man, it's almost like there's something to this short-term contrarian type of stance. It's almost like there's a little something to kind of playing this guy from a short-term contrarian standpoint. And so, all right, let's go ahead. Let me get to some questions now. Let me see here, because there's not really much to do in the market in terms of my current positions. So let me go ahead and I don't want to do anything in Meta right now. We're kind of sitting on that EQT and MNQ. And then I feel really good about everything else. I'm not in a hurry to build out the rest of the portfolio, especially knowing that, guys, you don't want to miss the afternoon stream, because what is coming up in the next little bit? What is coming up today after the bell? Hold on a second. Ryan, bring me to the soapbox here. This is important. So if you are brand new to the show, if you are brand new to my content, this is really important. If you're multitasking, come back to me. So guys, listen. So I've been doing the markets now for 20 years. I've been studying the markets, been trading the markets since 2007. It's been basically 2 decades. This earnings call tonight that's coming out from NVIDIA, guys, this is not good. Whatever they say, whatever they report, whatever Jensen Huang has in store for us, I really feel like this could be it. I really feel like this could be the end. I don't know that I've personally or professionally ever traded or studied or thought about a more impactful earnings call than what is coming on down the chutes tonight. So when it comes to revenues, it's critically important. When it comes to earnings, critically important. When it comes to the conference call, critically important. We need Jensen to start saying NVIDIA correctly. If he doesn't, I fear the stock could be in real trouble. And that means that the financial trajectory of you personally is also in question. All that you're working for, all that you're striving for, all that you're building for, it is all up in the air. So you've got, what, 6 hours? You've got 6 hours to get your affairs in order. If the bunker materials are not already on your driveway, having been Amazon Prime this morning, I fear that it might be too late. But at least you've been warned. You've got 6 hours left. So I would do whatever you can. Batteries, flashlights, Twinkies, get those guys stocked up, because this is not good. But if you want to see how I'm going to trade it, then come back this afternoon, because we're going to trade it here together. And so, all right, so let's go back into the market. Okay. So we're waiting on MNQ, and we're waiting on all that kind of stuff. And so, all right, let's go ahead and let me surprise and delight somebody. Man, I see. Who said, is that Brian? Yeah, Brian Rakuten. Good morning, Dr. Jim. The 9:15 start time is definitely B-. I know, I agree. And so we were going to do a 9 o'clock start time. That was my original thinking. But I'm trying to be mindful of, Ryan and Grace and myself. I mean, balancing 2 streams every day is like, it's a good bit. Like, and I know that we go overtime a lot of the time, at least by a couple of minutes. And so we're going to stick with the Dr. Jim power 3/4 of an hour. I think that is the way to go. And so, but I see you there, Brian Rakuten. I see, let's see, M. Brian DDS. We are the world. No, it is not. We are the world. And so that is another outstanding guess, but that is not the one. And so, okay, let's see here. If we do, let's see here. Let me try to. Okay, so we've got some questions that have come in. Sam L. Doc, are we scalping some MNQ now? PCE candle goes boom, then immediately drop. Again, the short-term contrarian play, right? We're scalping everything now. We're scalping GDP. We're scalping PCE. We're scalping market opens. We're scalping market closes. And so we're scalping all these things. And so, yes, we are absolutely doing that. We did that this morning. It happened to work out, which was really, really nice. And so now here we are. We're waiting to see if we get filled on this other MNQ EQT. And if we don't, we don't. I'm not super interested in getting long right now. Just because I already have a little bit of long delta. It wouldn't be super crazy. I mean, we did an MNQ this morning. And, in my opinion, there's so much back and forth, in that market open window that, it can be very, very plentiful on both sides of the market. And I actually think it's a mistake to be kind of, just married to one side and only living on that one side. I actually think there's so much opportunity being flexible enough to be on both sides of the market. Now, I do think that most traders are kind of hardwired one way or another. Like a lot of traders, either like to play it from the short side or they play it from the long side. And so it makes sense that you might tilt one way or the other. And I do tend to tilt on the short side. But, when it comes to, let me think. When it comes to being like completely like off the grid, not off the grid. Man, I do need a ghost. People are asking about the ghost. I do need a ghost this morning. I didn't bring one. I need one. When it comes to being so locked in on that one side, that's what I meant to say. That you completely miss or discount the things on the other side of the market, then that is not a good thing. And sorry, so let's see here. So when it comes to scalping, definitely. So BBB fine. What is going on? What do you do with a long MNQ that is currently losing ground? Yes. So if you have a trade that you put on, whether it be an EQT or whatever else, and you've taken some heat on that trade, and you kind of want to do something, but you want to stay in the trade, this is where doing something like laying premium out against it is a strategic move, in my opinion. And so this is where, going in here, I go to the trade page, and if I had an MNQ trade on, I don't have one on right now, but if I was long MNQ, like let's say I was long up around like 500, let's say 29,500. Well, what I might do, they've got the options back for MNQ. That's kind of nice. They've got the options back for MNQ. They've got the options back for MES. And so that is really, really nice. And so, yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff indeed. And so nice. I didn't notice that. That's a new thing, right? They took them away there for a couple of days, and now they're back. That's pretty awesome. And so, okay, but if I have a trade on that's losing ground, then the thing I'm going to be looking to do is I'm going to be looking to sell premium against that trade. So if I'm long, I'm going to be looking to add a short call. If I'm short, I'm going to be looking to add a short put. And I'm going to be wanting to do that because that will bring in the time, that will bring in the volatility, and it will cut my directional bias while allowing me to stay in the trade. I view this very much as a dynamic stop loss. It doesn't have the finality of a firm stop loss. It's not going to have, kind of the closure of that hard stop, which has its own set of gimmies and gotchas. But when it comes to, wanting to stay in the trade and really wanting to lean into, a DNS, I really kind of like selling calls against that. So, for example, Billy, if I was in at 29,000, there's your 87s. Oh, we got a pop. We got some kind of pop. Okay, so hold on. Let me get, I'll finish my thought here, but we're obviously also trading while we are trying to offer up some stuff. So was that 287? Yeah, I would do like 244 and a half. That's fine. Oh, that's not right. Hold on. 244 and a half. That would be, it'd be about 43 or so. That's fine. Okay, so if I was long at 29,500, then what I want to be mindful of, I'd probably go into September with 23 days to go. It's the last contract that is trading against the U symbol. You could go into, the Z contract, of course, if you wanted more days, but then you do have to do kind of some conversions to kind of bring that guy back, which is not that difficult, but just to keep things a little bit buttoned up. I would probably go into September and, maybe, be looking at something like selling, like here, let me grab my Diet Strawberry. Maybe be looking at selling, something that is, wait a minute, why are these zero delta? That's really weird. Are these trading? Are these not even trading? Why are these zero delta over here? You guys see that? That's crazy. Okay, hold on. Billy, I'm going to get to your question here. I'm trying to answer it, but I also have to kind of investigate what's going on here. So if I go to, what if I go to this guy? Okay, that looks a little bit better. So we'll do the 22-day. Okay, so just do the 22-day. Yeah, this is the AM expiration. That's fine. So if I do the 22-day AM expiration, let me grab my my drawing tool back. So if I go to this guy, and my basis was 29,500, let's say. I'm just using this for an example, obviously. Then what I want to be mindful of is my space between my basis on the trade, so where you got in, and my strike price on whatever call I might choose. And so, you know, for my purposes, I typically like to be around a 30 delta call. That's generally a pretty good area to live, in my opinion. So right here, you know, going in and selling a 30,000 strike call against this EQT or whatever it might be for you that's underwater, this allows, you know, it cuts down the size, you bring in some decay, you bring in some time, and then it allows you to stay in the general bias of the trade. And then, of course, if it keeps going down, you can roll the strike down, you can roll the strike out. There's a lot of other things that you can do, you know, kind of around those edges there. And so that's how I would view an underwater EQT. Hopefully that gives you a couple of things to, you know, to think about. But great question there, my friend. And so, all right, let's see. If I do, I see, oh yes, so I see a lot of people. So a lot of people are commenting on the ads. Yes, you guys should be getting ads because last night the channel got monetized, which is pretty cool. And so they clicked them on for everything. And I just looked at it this morning and I'm like, oh, okay. Like they're on. Like you guys let me know. Like, is that really disrupting the experience for you? Like we're kind of used to YouTube ads now. Like when I click on like a YouTube video, like I expect there to be ads in the beginning and obviously just click off on mine too. Like you don't have to watch them. That might help me a little bit, but it really doesn't matter. I want to know, is it real? I don't know what it looks like from your angle. So you guys let me know. Like if it's no good, like we'll get rid of it immediately. It just happened last night and obviously YouTube kind of preloaded, like everything got checked. And so you guys let me know. That is a fairly new thing, obviously, on the channel. And so I see a lot of people commenting on it, though, which is good. You guys let me know, because I want this to be a good experience for you guys. I mean, obviously, I got to feed Amelia May her gluten-free, soy-free, dairy-free waffles, too. And so it's a balancing act. But yeah. We've got, we've got ads. I think we got super chats now that are in this. So we got super chats in the deal. We got ads. We got a bunch of stuff. And so that's kind of cool. The YouTube ad thing is just not, it's funny, like YouTube creators, I mean, this is new for me, obviously, but from everything I've learned, you don't make that much money from the ads. Like, you've got to be like tippity top to make a lot of money from the YouTube ads. And so it's not really, I mean, it's a little something around the edges, but it's nothing super amazing either way. And so, but let's go back to the finance questions. But I appreciate you guys, man, being here and supporting the channel just by watching. That's awesome. Okay, so let's see. Captain Ruggs says, MES question, why is my trading view, quote, always different from Tasty? I have no idea. I do not know. And so I don't use trading view. I've used it before, but because I don't really use charts that often, and by that often, I mean I really don't use them. Well, I use them a little bit. I don't want to be completely misleading here. I do use them a little bit around the edges to get context in the morning, like when I wake up and, you know, I was sleeping. I want to see where the market was and kind of what happened while I was asleep. I'll take a look at, you know, some charts to kind of see where the market was and give myself some feel for what might have happened overnight. And then there is one technical thing that I have alluded to mysteriously for many years on FTTP that I actually do think might have some merit. I'm actually still not sure if it's any better than just randomly doing kind of whatever you want, but it does give some kind of, I don't know, it gives some kind of packaging around like the idea of being long or being short. And so we'll talk about that at another time, though, because ads or no ads, your boy 100% needs that watch time. And so let's see. I see Rip Gears. Can you talk about handling my mistakes? I just close any mistake as my rule. Yeah, great question. And I'm seeing lots of feedback on the ads. I'll have to go back and see, but I'm seeing here. Actually, Ryan, go ahead and put a poll in the chat for the last 10 minutes. Put a poll in the chat. The YouTube ads during the live stream, is it ruining the experience for you, or is it really just kind of an annoying thing that you can click away? Like, I would like to know for the last 10 minutes. Ryan, if you can get that in there, let me know. But because again, like, I don't want this to be something you guys don't want to come to. That kind of defeats the entire purpose. So YouTube can pay your boy $9.25. Like, that doesn't make any sense at all. And so you guys let me know in the chat if we can fire up that poll. If we can, it's fine. We can do it for the afternoon. But I appreciate the feedback very, very much. But Rip Gear says, can you talk about handling your mistakes? I just close any mistake as a rule. This is a great question. So it depends on the mistake. So if I do like a fat finger mistake, like where you meant to do 1, you do 10. You meant to do 1, you do 11, right? You meant to buy, you actually sell, like those kinds of things, right? So a couple of things. So number one, if it's a mistake where I meant to do 1 and I do 10, or I meant to do 1 and I do 11, like I definitely close that right away, because that's very, very different when it comes to. Thank you, Ryan. I see it showing up there in the I see it showing up in the deal. And so okay, cool. If it's really big, I close it. There's no reason to keep that on, because this could be something that's really going to be quite damaging when it comes to, what we're trying to do. And it's like, man, I mean, size is so critical, like being mindful of position sizing with options, with futures, with whatever, like that's absolutely crucial with what we're trying to accomplish. And so that kind of disrupts the whole thing. So if it's a fat finger mistake where I'm really big, then I close that right away. If, however, it's a fat finger mistake where it is I'm long and I meant to be short, or I bought and I meant to sell for a new position, I actually normally just keep that on, because I am all in on the simple fact that we don't know anything. We don't know a single thing about what's going on. Not a clue, man. We don't have a clue about where the market's going. We don't have a clue about where the market's going to, what it's going to do. And so from that standpoint, I'm like, man, being long might be just as good as being short. Right now, you might hear that and say, well, Jim, that kind of flies in the face of the short-term contrarian and having some kind of edge and kind of fading short-term moves. And I agree. I do agree. I mean, I like to trade that way. I'm not saying it's the only way to trade. I'm not even saying it's the best way to trade. It's the way that I like to trade, and it's what I see in the markets. But I also fully respect the randomness and the unpredictability of the markets, such that, man, if I make a fat finger mistake and I meant to buy and I actually sell, or vice versa, I normally just keep it on. And so I'll tell you what, the comments on these ads, though, they are pumping this algo. Like, I mean, this is almost like an audio echo chamber. Like, we're going to have to bring that guy back. And so I don't know, comments about ads, audio echo chambers, like we are ready to go with pumping this algo, man. That's some good stuff. But hopefully that helps there, Captain Ruggs. Or not Captain Ruggs, but Rip Gears. And so, all right, let's see. I see some more questions are coming in. Anta, what's going on there? Anta says, Dr. J, I'm planning to not do any 0 DTE and SPX Friday due to Warsh talking. Cousin Kev, he is on the docket on Friday. You can't stop him. He's coming for us all. Again, is he going to go with another non-purple tie? I don't know, man. I don't know. He's done it 2 times in a row. It's crazy stuff. It's never been done before. But Anta says, I usually do a few day early in the morning. Should I be? I just got an ad. Wait a second now. Your boy, I'm looking at an ad right now. Yes, I would like to skip that ad. Yeah, I don't know, man. It looks like most of you guys can deal with it, but I literally just got an ad. Like, I'm about to start getting ads in VMix. Like, we're going to start getting ads in the actual production. And so, I don't know, man. I may have to tinker with it. It may take me a day or 2 to figure this out. I'll probably try to get rid of them, like, in the middle of the stream. Maybe I'll see if there's a way to have them come, like, before and, like, after, because who cares about those, right? That doesn't really matter. I mean, while we're waiting for the wave pool to come and the countdown timer's on, it's like, yeah, sure, send me some gluten-free waffle ads. I don't care. I mean, I was just talking about it, so maybe I'll buy some. Right, like that's all fine. But the mid-roll ads, yeah, I'll probably try to get rid of those. But that's so funny. I just got an ad. That's hilarious. But I hear you, Anta. I mean, Friday, Jackson Hole, should I not be afraid of Warsh? I mean, he's Cousin Kev for a reason. Like, we thought Uncle Jay was scary. Cousin Kev, he might be a little scarier. Like, when you listen to him talk, it's kind of soothing while also potentially Machiavellian. And so I'm not exactly sure how to kind of marry those two things together. But yeah, he frightens me a little bit, because there's some things cooking up in the old noggin of Cousin Kev there that I don't know that he's necessarily on our side, especially since he's going non-purple ties. Like, I don't really know how to process that. You probably don't either. And so I like the strategy there, Anta. I like the strategy a lot. Let's see. Happy week anniversary. Thank you there, Sean. I appreciate you very, very much. Joel James, my man, is in the house. Doc, I'm in a 2-day, 10-day, 320 put calendar that I put in yesterday. It's just under a 320 strike. How do you manage this? The DNS or take action? Yeah, so the super short-term calendars, I don't have a ton of experience with those. I know they're really popular. I know like Liz and Jenny used to do those a lot, which they're coming back, by the way, so stay tuned for that. That's going to be awesome. I'll be watching, of course. And so the 210 calendar spreads, they're really short-term in nature. So I would think it's still very similar from the standpoint of, if the stock sits and you hit your profit target, you take it off. If the front month kind of rolls off and just goes away, then you maybe sell more premium against that back month. I mean, I typically, when I think of a calendar spread, it's more like 30 on the front month, 60 on the back month. So it's a little bit slower in nature. But those 2x10s, those can certainly work as well. There's just a much quicker turnaround. And so I would, the inner workings of the management of those guys, I'm not as up to snuff on those. And so rather than just give you a bunch of rigmarole, I mean, there's plenty of other rigmarole on the stream, so we don't need more necessarily. Rather than giving you a bunch of rigmarole that I don't have kind of the command of the subtleties and the nuances that I might with other strategies, I mean, I would have to think, if you're just under the 320 strike, right, you've got to be in a good situation, Joel, I would imagine, right? I would think, because for a calendar spread, it doesn't matter how it sets up, 2x10, 30x60, 10x30, whatever. Pinning the short strike is the perfect outcome. Pinning the short strike is what we want. And so since you are doing that right now, I think that's going to be good. I think that's going to be a positive thing. I would probably lean DNS. Again, understand that, I don't have, I haven't been down the pathway forward through the forest with a 2x10 calendar spread as much as maybe a 30-60 or something like that. And so take that with a grain of salt, of course. But yeah. And so Joel, hopefully that helps a little bit. Financial nihilist, what's going on there? Dr. Jim, how do I quit futures? My portfolio is making gains while my futures P&L keeps adding weight to the wrong side of the bar. Any advice before I learn my lesson again? Yes. So a couple of things about futures, a couple more things about futures. It can be, you got to be really careful. You got to be really careful. And that's why I keep coming back to size. I mean, we're sitting on one right now, with 40 points underwater or whatever. It looked like it almost got to the profit target, but then it obviously quickly reversed course, which happens very regularly. Size is absolutely crucial. So by all means, just walk away. Walk away and just do premium. Because remember, premium's the driver. So here's the best way. If you don't want to do futures anymore, then you shouldn't do futures anymore. And, you should remember that premium is the driver. The short options is the thing that's going to give us the best chance to get where we're trying to go, in my humble opinion. And so just walk away and lean more heavily into the options side of things and the short premium side of things. And with that, understanding that position size is crucial. So whether it be futures, whether it be options, whatever, I think anyone who trades futures should be in a situation where you have a trade on, you can walk away, you can go live your life totally, completely, and you should actually be in a situation where you've completely you have forgotten what you even have on. You could be like, man, am I long the NASDAQ? Am I short the NASDAQ? I don't even know, right? And so if you're going to trade futures, then you need to be in that spot, in my humble opinion. But for you there, financial nihilist, I would just go ahead and I would just lean into the short premium. Just remember that short premium is the driver. Like, for those cats out there that are just trading futures like straight and they're all directional all the time, man, I've got a lot of respect for those dudes and dudettes out there, because that is a tough game in my opinion. Now, it looks like that's what I'm doing too, but again, for the trades that don't work, there's a lot of other things that we bring into the mix in terms of premium, in terms of, adding tranches, in terms of a lot of things around the edges to kind of soften the blow of an individual future that gets away from us. But man, yeah, straight trading futures can be really, really a tough go, in my humble opinion. So what I would do there, financial nihilist, I would go ahead and just lean heavily into the short premium side of things, and hopefully that helps a little bit. Let's see. Jayhawk is in the house. What's going on there, Jayhawk? I appreciate you so very much. So Jayhawk says, Doc, so new folks have no idea what you're talking about. Will you be covering the basics? So yes. So I understand that people that are just finding the show, right? You're kind of picking this up midstream. Like you feel like you're walking into a conversation like midway through. I understand that. But coming from the tasty world, I mean, my expectation, and it doesn't appear that I was too far off, was that a lot of, you know, the FTTP folks and a lot of the tasty faction would kind of follow me over to OU. And you guys were here. And you guys are representing. And I appreciate you guys so very much. Like the OG core position, like you guys are here. Like, and I just appreciate you guys so very much. I mean, Sebastian's here. Brian Rackett is here. Ash Finn is here. Mario Gomez is here. Man, Bill Kennedy is here. Man, I appreciate you guys so very, very much. But there's a lot of new people. There's a lot of new people. So if you can have a bit of patience, just give me some time. Give me a couple of weeks, a couple of months, no more than a couple of years. We will build out a tremendous library of resources for everybody. For the beginners, for the intermediates, for the advanced. I had to kind of choose a pathway forward through the forest. And the path that I've chosen right now are the people that have been trading for a while. You have been selling some premium. You're clear of the concept, and you kind of want to go to that next level. You kind of want to polish around the edges and refine the strategies that you already have. So that's what I'm focusing on right now. But man, I mean, my heart goes out to all you beginners out there because it's like drinking from a fire hose. It is 100% like drinking from a fire hose. So I hope that you still stay, and I'm going to work very hard to give you guys some breadcrumbs along the way, which of course will be organic and gluten-free and all those things, so don't worry. But there will be dedicated beginner content coming, hopefully sooner rather than later. But wow, the show's over? Man, it's so fast. You guys have no idea. There's another ad. Man, they hit your boy again on the way out the door. Yeah, we got to get rid of this, man. For the mid-rolls, yeah, there's no way. But I appreciate you guys, man. I appreciate you guys so very much. If I can ever help you guys in any way, please shoot me an email. I am jim@optionsuncapped.com. We can connect on Twitter. I am @optionsuncapped, or my personal account is @jschultzf3. You can follow either one. You can even follow both if you would like. I would love to hear from you guys on there. I will see you guys later today for the afternoon stream at 2 o'clock. I'll see you guys then.